What time is it?
5:07.
Okay, it's 5:07. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Thank you all for coming and being a part of our park board meeting. We'll take a quick roll call, and then we'll move in to approve the agenda. Carlos Lopez is here. Crystal Pilkington.
Here.
Angie Curley. Christy Rushing.
Here.
Luke Heidhold.
I'm here.
And Kayla Cisco is not here. Okay. So we have 4, we have enough for a quorum, and we'll move into the agenda approval. Gonna need a motion to approve the agenda.
Make the motion.
Okay. Crystal motions to
We're in the package.
approve the agenda. We have a second.
I'll second.
Christie seconds the approval of the agenda. Okay, very good. Moving on. Oh wait, all in favor?
Hi.
Aye. All right, so moved. Agenda is approved. And we'll move into the amendment to bylaws. So this amendment is, let's see, where is it at? Is it on, do we have it available, or do I just need to talk about it?
You'll have to look at the board. Well, hold on.
I thought I printed the whole packet. Apparently, I did not print the
So
whole
is it
packet.
the second part of it? Is that what we're looking for?
Yeah, the amendment
Give me a
portion.
second and I will get there.
Sorry about that.
So I can do a general informative,
There.
okay.
I am really loud.
Okay, so the amendment is going to be to Article 5, Section 3A. Says regular or special meetings of the Park and Recreation Board may be conducted in person, virtually, via Zoom or other teleconferencing platforms, or through electronic communication, such as email, provided all members are properly notified and a quorum is established. Meetings conducted via electronic means shall allow for real-time communication among members whenever decisions are made. All virtual or email meetings shall be conducted in a manner consistent with the public meeting requirements and access as required by law. Okay. I can't read.
Do you mean to move it up?
Maybe. Okay, Section 3 Amendment, all regular meetings are to be held at the Salem Civic Theater unless otherwise agreed upon by the board at a time and date to be determined. Do I need to keep going? Just tell me when to stop. Optional cleaned up version of Amendment Article 5 for clarity. You could replace the whole article if you prefer a more polished format. Article 5, meetings, amended, Section 1, a regular quarterly meeting shall be held during the year unless otherwise agreed upon by the board. Section 2, special meetings may be called by the president or on the written request of at least 2 members, with all board members being notified. Section 3, all regular meetings are to be held at the Salem Civic Theater unless otherwise agreed upon by the board at a time and date to be determined. Section 3A, regular or special meetings of the Park and Recreation Board may be conducted in person, virtually, e.g. via Zoom or other teleconferencing platforms or through electronic communication, e.g. email, provided all members are properly notified and a quorum is established. Virtual or email meetings must allow for real-time or reasonable sequential communication among members when decisions are being made. Can we move it up, please?
Yeah, sorry. Where are you at?
Section 4,
Okay.
the first regular quarterly meeting held after the municipal election in April of each year shall be called the organizational meeting. The purpose of this meeting shall be the election and installation of officers, presentation of the annual report by the Park and Recreation Director, review of the inventory report, and other relevant business. Section 5, 4 members shall constitute a quorum at any regular or special meeting. Section 6, all meetings are open to the public. Section 7, meetings shall be conducted in accordance with procedures prescribed in the bylaws. Decisions to be recommended will be reached only after full consideration and debate. In Section 8, the following shall be the order of business for the Park and Recreation Board.
This is the, okay.
It's all of this, the only part that's amended is Section 3A,
Right.
correct? So,
The rest of it's just cleaning up, right? It's condensing and cleaning it up.
Right. So and I don't think that we have the minutes from our previous meeting either. So I think once we approve the minutes from our last meeting, then, because did we or did we not vote on this already?
We didn't have quorum, did we?
Well, on our last meeting, I know we didn't have a quorum on our last meeting, but I thought the meeting before, I thought we did vote for the amendment, but it wouldn't go through until we approved the minutes, which we couldn't do in our last meeting.
Gosh, I don't remember.
I do believe that was.
Is there any
the
way
case.
that you could potentially access the minutes from our last meeting?
The minutes?
Because wouldn't that potentially let us know if we voted on it, at least in the agenda?
Hang on. So from the last, gosh, when was that?
September
September?
or October, I believe.
September. Here's the packet. Here you go, here's your minutes. From June 12th. No, you need the minutes from the September meeting, right?
No, it would be from the June, it would be from the
it'd be the minutes
Wow.
approved were in September of the June meeting.
Yeah.
I thought we did then, yeah.
So bylaws amendment discussion.
Motion to approve the bylaws amendment made by Kayla and seconded by Krista Pillington. Motion passed unanimously, 6-0. So I think we need to make a motion to approve the minutes from this meeting in order for it to be in motion
Okay.
or to be made policy.
Subject to review by the attorney.
So, correct. I apologize, yes.
No, you're fine.
No, you're right, 100%.
That should probably be included in the motion. When you guys approve these minutes,
Subject,
Yep.
that specific to the bylaw amendment, that is subject to approval by the attorney.
If we're ready.
yeah.
Because
is there
should
any-
he come back with any recommendations?
Yeah,
for changes?
the only question is just, this isn't necessarily to change or anything, but in that amendment that's associated to email, if there was to be some kind of decision made, how does the public get cognition of what those emails and what that communication is through email?
I think we'll have to have James look at that to clarify it.
Yeah, I was kind of questioning that myself when
So
I saw it. I'm
I
like,
think probably the path forward, I think that we're okay still to vote for that because the public will still, has to be made aware. And if it's through email and they have to be made aware and we don't have a form of doing that, then we just can't prove through email yet. Even though it says it that way, we still are, you know, we still have to allow the public to see what that is. And if there's no mechanism for all of people to see that email in that discussion through email, it would have to be like, hey, here's the email correspondence published to the public. We're then gonna call for a Zoom meeting that's open to the public and then an approval. I don't see, we could still use email, I think, with the way it was set up. I just don't think that, I just wanna make it clear that we're not gonna be, hey, we made 15
Having
decisions through
conversations
email.
privately.
Public, you are not aware of it, but they're really good decisions, so hope you like it, right? So we
may
know
I
that.
ask-
That was my
Yeah.
question
Do
as
you,
well.
is there a circumstance where you would anticipate doing it through email?
No, oh,
I think originally we had tried to do this because when it comes down to budget time, not everybody can get together
Okay,
in the same place
gotcha.
at the same time in
Yeah.
order to have a quorum.
It's-
So we were trying to do something to where we could expedite decisions.
In my opinion, I thought the format would be, this is just in case one, maybe two board members
Right, so
couldn't
you'd
make it.
still
This
have a
would still
public
be-
meeting.
This would still be the format, and then we'd have the Zoom played up on the screens and made available any emails, potentially, the email strand made available. I don't know how that
Gotcha.
works.
Gotcha.
But this would still be the format, and the Zoom and the email is in the off chance that we need one more for a quorum. Obviously, if we have 4 out of 7, we don't need to have that,
Right.
yeah.
but it would be an option. That's
Okay.
what's going on in my head.
And if I may, one more question. I noticed you guys reference the meetings being in the Civic Theater. Can we change that to the City Hall? That way, in case, when we start showing movies in here, we need to have meetings in the old council chambers when those are rehabbed? And that way, if you simply say in City Hall, we could have it anywhere in this building.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that would be my recommendation, that we change that name, because you've got it kind of throughout the amendment.
Okay, does that change anything on how we vote, or we just,
No.
how that?
So
We're still going to get with James on the actual verbiage, so we can change that.
Okay,
And this will still have to go before the Board of Aldermen.
Correct.
Before it can be in place.
so what we're voting on currently instead of.
Is
what
that we want to
just
make the
read,
amendment.
Minus the Civic Center, now the.
City Hall.
City Hall. Okay.
Yeah, I make a motion that we approve June's meeting minutes specific to the bylaw amendment associated to Section 3A, Article 5, to allow Parks and Rec Board meetings to be conducted via Zoom or other teleconferencing platforms as defined in the June agenda, or June minutes. With exception that correction be made that instead of stating it being the Salem Civic Theater, it be amended to Salem City Hall. Subject to review by the city attorney. Yep.
Need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yep, aye.
All right, so moved, unanimous, 4-4. Okay, very good. Thank you all so much for that. Thanks for being patient with us as we worked through it. And we're going to move into the Park and Rec report by Melissa Du Bois.
That is in your packet.
Oh, it's not in this packet?
It's not in that packet, sorry.
Okay.
If you'll notice, so this is the report from September, but I added content because not everybody was here, so I wanted to make sure that we touched on everything. So the stuff that is in kind of the cursive text is the stuff that I've added. So the youth sports programs, right now, we just got finished with soccer, or we're registering for soccer right now. Today is the deadline before the $10 late fee comes into play. That'll happen at midnight. So tomorrow will be the late fee. Then registration is open until the 13th, and then directly after that, we'll have the coaches draft. And then practices will begin in March, and games will follow in April at Al Brown. Basketball and cheer is what just got over. We had a really good season. We made a few changes through first and second grade that I think were very beneficial. We had 127 athletes. We had 2 less than last year. We condensed it into 2 nights this year, which made it really, really good. If we get more kids, we'd have to do Thursday nights again. But it was helpful for the week that it snowed because the dates were canceled for Monday and Tuesday, but I was still able to make it up in the same week and finish those games on Thursday and Friday. So that really helped. One thing that's not really with basketball, it is, but it's not, it's the basketball concession. We purchased a used refrigerator when we first started using the gym here and turning the concession into a concession. And we're gonna need some repairs on that refrigerator because it no longer refrigerates, it freezes. And ruins product and causes a big giant mess, so just in the future. Flag football, first of all, I wanna thank the Bank of Salem for sponsoring our shirts this year because that's always a big chunk. Flag football and cheer, something that we talked about last time, but games were in October. We had 134 athletes. We were down 11 registrations from the previous year. We did struggle to find enough coaches for the football season. That's always pretty difficult. Basketball wasn't terrible. We did need a few, but we ended up finding them pretty easily. And then we want to thank Kurt's Mobile Home for sponsoring that season, and they were really awesome. Grounds and satellite parks. Al Brown, flood damage. The fence repairs have been made. Looking to install the gate that Northfield provided by the Salem Mo Spectacular. It's been ordered. It's actually in Salem now, and they will complete the repair once the ground dries up and everything gets a little nicer out. Park use, 5th and 6th grade, use the field for tackle football. They've removed all their practice equipment from our storage concession, because when we remodeled the concession, that's where they had stored all of their items. We allowed them to put it's portable, but it's like a truck box unit to keep their stuff dry, environment-free. Michael Connors held a concert at Al Brown. Project Graduation had a softball tournament, and the Salem Most Spectacular event were at Al Brown. Salem City Park repairs. This is current. So repairs made to concrete around ball field concession stand by our City of Salem construction crew. So I don't know if you guys recall, there's a drain along the doorway to, well, let's say, between the concession and the blue field. Is that easier? There's a drain that kind of runs the length of the building, and the concrete had settled quite a bit, and it was really a tripping hazard concern, so that's been fixed. Also, in front of the restrooms, there was some concrete that was repaired around that area. We had a lot of complaints about the steps being removed when the new sidewalk was put in with that grant. The steps got taken out. They were supposed to be put back in. Something happened. They didn't get put back in. They are in now. We're just waiting on a railing to be installed on it, so that should make a lot of people happier. A lot of the older population, the ramped way is nice for a wheelchair, but if they're not able to walk physically very far, they appreciate having the steps to be able to get down a little bit faster. So the construction crew also installed that for us. We also had approved in our budget to do steps from is it Park? Nope.
Park Place Drive.
Yes, Park Place Drive, down to the Armory parking lot to encourage people to park along that road and to help maybe some of the congestion, and they have an easier way to get down to the fields or to the gym when stuff is in use. Something else that the city has been working on that's not part of us, but they have put curbing on that back side of the building, and they have put curbing on the west side of the parking lot, and they've extended it out a little bit. And there will be paving that side soon, and they will do parallel parking on that exterior parking side. I don't know if you've ever been there during an event. If two pickup trucks park across from each other, you are lucky to squeeze through. If you're driving an SUV or a truck, you might have to pull your mirrors in. Like, it's really questionable. So I appreciate the city taking that on. The main reason that they took that on was a safety concern, because there was no way we'd ever be able to get emergency vehicles through there if there were to be an emergency.
Is a quick question, is the parallel parking going to be all along that west
Yes.
parking spot, all the way from the,
Yes.
From what I understand them saying, that there would not have been any loss to the parking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, and the way, since they extended along the back of the building too, and kind of put in retaining wall and extended that some, when it gets paved and striped, the dumpster can be pushed farther back in that corner, and we will actually gain 1 or 2 parking spaces.
oh, great. Okay.
So we appreciate that. It wasn't part of Park and Rec, but that benefits us greatly with that for safety. The construction crew will also be replacing the T-ball parking lot coming up. It will be done before June, and they're also going to be capping the 3-inch rock, 2-inch rock that is in between the Armory and the concession stand. It's used as a retaining wall and surface, but those rocks get put in our toilets, and they get thrown on our ball fields, and they get thrown on everywhere. So they will be concreting that as well. So they got a lot to do in the next few months, but they are actually pretty excited to do it, because I think they enjoy doing concrete is what I, maybe not, but job security. Security cameras, that was approved in our budget. We are working with the PD. I've been in conversation with them back and forth. It's really hard nailing people down to get bids, because you've got to get bids, and then in order to put it out for bid, you have to have an idea of what you're supposed to be asking for. and you want the verbiage to be not business specific, but you want it to be to where other people can bid, you know. And so it's been very difficult to try to get all of that verbiage together, but they have been working on that and keeping me in the loop because they're getting cameras, the PD's getting cameras, but we are also getting cameras, but we want all of those to be able to speak to the police department to where they can monitor the park 24 hours a day. So that would be very beneficial. Billy's Playground was fully opened on June 26, 2025 from ground covering from flood repairs. Working to repair the fencing on the exterior of the playground. There were a couple spots that were bent because of the wood that was picked up and distributed everywhere. We're having a really hard time finding the fence to replace it. So it is an aluminum fence, and it's a particular style of fence and type of fence. I have contacted the playground people that installed the playground. They cannot get them to communicate back with them. I have contacted a local fence company in Salem. They have been trying to get in contact with them, and they will not deal with them because they are not a distributor or supplier. They've contacted a supplier, and they won't get a hold of that. Like, we're having a really hard time getting any communication back from them. The fence company here, for one, doesn't know why they used aluminum because it's not a super sturdy
Right, not as durable.
metal. We cannot find parts or pieces to replace panels or any of the equipment. They have recommended that we replace it with some type of steel fencing or even a black coated chain link fencing along that side. I've been talking to Stacy about it because she deals with FEMA. And we're gonna try to talk with FEMA and maybe try to do it for the, is it the mitigation or mitigation? Is it the?
For
Improvement.
mitigation, we're going to try to do it for that?
After, yeah,
Oh,
because
okay.
if it's a soft metal, if it were to ever flood again,
Gotcha.
we want it to be sturdy to where
Right.
that would not be the case. So we could potentially still get that full section funded if we do a different type of fencing. They're supposed to be getting back with me on some different prices for the chain link and the steel fencing that maybe could look similar to the east side of it. Because there is fencing along the creek, but there's fencing on the east side of that playground too that matches. But just to kind of keep that in mind, and we have to get this done before June because we want to get our full reimbursements. But anyway, those are the issues that keep coming up, and we're gonna work with the fence company to see what we need to do to get it expedited. Let's see, red and green softball fields, fence has been repaired. We will be adding more dirt fill to home plate areas on red and blue fields as it's settled as the year after we repaired it, which isn't a big deal. But Alice Lou Craig Municipal Swimming Pool posted a job opening for new lifeguards. Applications can be found on the salemo.com website. All but 2 of our guards are returning for our 2026 season. We had one in-house staff that worked front desk but wanted to be a lifeguard, and she became certified to fill one of the positions. So we have for sure one position available. Something I found out today too, I don't know if you guys have heard all the hubbub about the center in Rolla. It is no longer owned, it's owned by a different entity. And I got word today that the people that we deal with directly to get everybody certified or recertified, they have let go of her position. There's no longer that position in the building. So luckily, the guard that we needed to get certified got certified last week, and the ones that need to be recertified, we got recertified during the snowstorm. 3 of them actually spent the night at my house because I live halfway to Rolla, and I drove them there that morning, and I went and picked them up myself. They're my son's friends, but we wanted to make sure that we got that done because we didn't know, it was just uncertain on how long this program would still be going on. And I'm really sad that they don't see the value in that program because we have Red Cross certified lifeguards because of that program that they have there, and that was such a benefit to our small communities around here, because if we have to do this now and go somewhere else, our kids have to be there at 8 in the morning, and they get done at 6 in the evening. So they may have to drive to Fort Leonard Wood, which from here would be an hour. If not, they have to drive to St. Louis or Springfield would be the closest place to be certified. And if they do that, they would most likely have to spend the night somewhere, which is added cost. So to become certified in Rolla, first time, it's $250. To be recertified, it's $150.
So I'm assuming they have to go through some sort of class or program,
Yes.
CPR, all these things.
Yes.
Is there any chance that we have, maybe not necessarily local, but could they bring the program to us? The
Potentially,
certification
we could
program?
potentially. The hard part is when we need to get them certified, the water is so cold. We have to fill it up before season starts. We did that one year. We actually paid to have one of our guards certify, and we did that. But we didn't retain him. So then it was kind of you get your high school students, then they move off to college, and then it's not as interesting anymore. The lady that does it now has been doing it for many years. She's very good at what she does. She goes by the books, and our kids are very well trained. And I like that seasoned person coming in and doing that training. The other option is we could recertify at the end of summer before we close the pool, but then you run into the problem. The reason that we can't stay open really long is because all of our kids are athletes and they have other obligations. But we will work with it and we will see what we can do. I know that the Red Cross has become a little more particular about the hours that are required. They do hybrid, so all the kids had 8 hours of online training and testing that they had to do even before they went in and recertified for that day. Also, when they train to be a lifeguard, they have that same 8 hours of online training, and then they have 3 days of in-person training. So it's usually a Friday evening, all day Saturday, and all day Sunday. So it's a lot. Okay, moving on. We will need to be making some repairs. We have an auto sensor that is out for the pool. We had to turn the water on all throughout the year, like every day, had to turn it on and fill it up, which it normally turns on automatically. We felt like we were losing a lot of water, but it's hard to tell when you usually have an autofill click on and off, as opposed to having to physically walk down and turn it on. We did contact the water department. When the pool shut down, they came over and put some dye in the pool to see if we could find if it was going to a certain direction. We did not see it going we didn't see it going anywhere, so we were really hoping it's the sensor. Now that we've winterized the pool, we have the plug in the bottom of the pool, and usually we have to sump pump water out when it gets to a certain level. We've noticed that it's staying down and not coming up to where we have to sump pump in, so we believe that there might be some type of leaking going on in the deep end of the pool, but again, we won't be able to know or test it until it's full with water. So it'll be at the beginning of the filling season that we'll get back with Westport and get them down here. Just to put that out there. Our zipline safety pad has eroded. We really didn't get to use it much this last summer. We have an allotted budget, and our pumps kind of took a lot of that money out. I looked for alternative solutions to be able to put a pad there, and I couldn't find any companies that could accommodate what I wanted. They make it specific for this AquaZip. Do you guys know what the AquaZip is? It needs padding. Because you have the metal side of the pool, if they happen to fall off before they leave and get to the water, it's a dangerous area. It needs good padding. I was a little shocked when I saw how much their padding was, but it's $2,200 for that piece of equipment there. But it is needed, and we had it shut down all season because we would not allow people to use it with the eroded padding that was there.
Do you still have the eroded padding?
Yes, it's
Okay.
there. But it's,
You can't use it.
you can't use it. It's like shriveled up and shrunk to where it like won't even lay correctly into the water, and it's shrunk inside.
Sure.
Heat has done that, I guess. The old pump that was removed, we had hopes that we could get parts to fix it. We actually drove it up to Jefferson City to a guy that's supposed to be great with working with pumps, but it was so badly burned on the inside because it caught fire that it was not replaceable. They could not repair it. So we do not have a backup. The pump that we have is the pump that we have.
So we had a failure of a pump.
The first one.
We replaced that pump.
Yes.
And then that pump failed, and we
And they
replaced it with.
turned it on, they turned just the pump portion. They mailed that to us. They warrantied it.
So we're on the third pump, right?
Yes.
That's what we have currently in the system. The
Yes.
very first pump, did it get returned and get repaired?
The very first one, we took it up there and they said it was not repairable.
That's the comment that you're saying
Yes.
here.
That
The
one is not
second
repairable.
pump, that was comment of plausible warranty and things like that. What was the final scenario of the second
That's the
pump?
one they sent the interior of the pump to us, and we installed it in the housing.
Not
so-
the whole pump.
So
Just
right now, the whole first pump
done.
is done.
Yes.
Completely gone. The second pump, the guts out of the pump portion of it, not the motor portion of it, but the pump portion of it, the guts of the pump were sent to us, and that was used within the third? Is that what you're telling me?
Yes. They just sent us the part that malfunctioned.
Okay, fair. So just so I'm cognizant of, we talk about a pump. The pump is actually the thing that's doing the water movement, and then there's a motor that pulls and
The motor,
pushes
yes.
the pump. And the second one, the
The
motor
motor's
burned
what
up.
failed.
Okay, perfect. But the pump guts that we have, the pump itself, we have the second pump that was installed in the third scenario. I made it confusing, I'm sorry.
I'm confused, but we still have the second pump that was installed is still there. The only thing that is different is they sent us a new motor.
Oh, okay. So, but that's not what's installed, or that is what's installed right now?
That's what's installed.
Yes.
Okay, okay, very good. I'll state it then just to make sure. Pump and motor in the first one completely failed. We sent it back, no good. There's no
We
repair
didn't send
of
it back. The first pump is the one we've had since I was working here.
And we knew it's no
and
good.
it failed.
It's
And
bad. Okay.
We sent it to Jefferson City in hopes that we could maybe repair it faster than we could get a new one.
And they said no go.
Yeah.
And no
And then-
part of
and then
the
I was
pump
like-
or motor of
Then
that
we
is
looked into
good.
it to maybe keeping it as a backup, but
Perfect.
they said no after further looking at it, yeah. not
And
gonna
the second
work.
pump, once we put the second pump in, had a problem with it, we took the motor off.
Yes.
And we sent the motor off, and they sent us a new motor back. So we
They
still have the
warranted us.
pump component of the second purchase we made, and then we've got a new motor on it.
Yes.
So the third motor, second pump, combined together.
There you go.
We have no replacement. Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
Same page.
Thanks.
The 2025 season was 90 days long, and we went through all of this last meeting, but I'm going to just spit it out again. That does not include remaining open 2 additional weeks for water aerobics. So the water aerobics ladies are very dedicated, and they all signed waivers saying that they would be liable for themselves if something were to happen because we did not have a lifeguard on duty. I was there when they were doing these activities, so they weren't there alone, but they did sign a waiver so that they can continue doing their water aerobics class for an additional 2 weeks, which was an hour a day, Monday through Friday. May 24th through September 1st, 20 full closure dates, 10 due to pump issues, 9 weather closures, and 1 short staff day. 13 partial closure days, weather or low attendance, either open later in the day or closed early, or open evening, closing, and then opening again. We really do try. I know we get garbage all over Facebook about how awful we are, but we try so hard to keep the pool open because it's not only that, it's a service to the public, but we have kids that depend on us for jobs and we want them to be working. But if you have 2 people at the pool and it's just above temperature, it's probably not going to be a heavy populated day. So we can't justify having 6 guards or 5 guards on duty for 2 kids. Just not, we just can't make it work. 2 extra weeks open for water aerobics. Participants were signed waiver. Extended our season until September 1st. Several of the extended days were very low attendance, so we opened longer at the request of everybody, and nobody showed up. So We tried. It's a big complaint that we're not open very long. We did what we could. We opened 2 hours early on the 4th of July and closed at 5. A lot of times we may close on the 4th of July because it's just not a heavily populated day, but we stayed open that day. There were 4,303 daily admissions. In 2023, there were 4,615. Daily admissions this year were 2,000.
Something to do with season pass or something?
Oh,
maybe?
one of them would be season pass, sorry, that's
Or
not
adults
specified.
or kids or something?
Yes, that would have been helpful.
It's okay.
And it would be even more helpful if I didn't write this in September and then regurgitate it. There were 30 pool parties in 2023. There were 19. 112 pool passes, family and individuals. 2023, there's 104. 76 swimming lessons, 2023, 76 swimming lessons. Change in total attendance, plus 35 people. Daily admission dropped by 312 people. Pool pass use increased by 347 people. Creek erosion. This is part of the FEMA. We'll need to talk about this a little bit further when we get into it, but we need to approve to purchase rock to stabilize the creek bed. The street department has agreed to make those repairs for us, so all we have to do is pay for the rock. And the estimate of getting the rock would be $10,000, and that should repair the whole section from bridge to bridge,
That-
which is desperately needed because we keep losing ground.
All the wire meshing that holds the rock in that's being used, or is there what's retaining the rock?
They place it in, and they said that they don't need anything else, that they interlock themselves because you use I think it's like the 10-inch
Yeah.
rock.
Oh, but the stone doesn't have any kind of grading
No.
or
They
anything
say
that's
as it
holding
settles,
it there. It's just
as
set.
it settles, they
Okay.
interlock with each other and they don't move.
I'm good.
Permit has been approved by the Corps of Engineers, and he's ready to do that whenever we can, get it going. Pavilion rentals, to reserve the pavilion, same as it's been the last year, call the city admin office, 729-4811, and you select utilities. Other park and rec business, we had the Salem Most Spectacular in the midst of all of this also. We had high hopes, it was gonna be great, we had more balloons, we had more vendors, and it rained and rained and rained. It was so sad to put all that work into something and then the weather, but that's just part of it. We did everything in our power to get the balloons down. They actually didn't want to come down, and we said, you are coming down, because if we live in Missouri and anything can happen, so you're coming down, we're gonna call it, we gotta see. But all in all, our vendors that did come, we had a few that decided not to come, which was fine. Made us a little sad, but the ones that were there said that it was productive and that they made money even despite the weather, that it was a good event. The food vendors did not complain at all. They said that they did really well, and we had a few new food vendors, which was really good. I haven't spoken with Tyler yet to see if we plan to do it next year. It's a huge undertaking for 2 people. And it's a lot of work. But very sad that the balloons didn't go up.
Is there any interest in bringing a third in?
That would be, I had mentioned it, but we'll have to see what Tyler wants to do, because it's not just me alone. Kind of partners with it, has the balloon contacts. But that is my report. And then in your packet, you also have the budget for current. Stacy's not here. But if you guys have any questions about it, you can ask me or Sally, and we'll answer to the best of our ability. Nothing really stood out to me. Everything's pretty much on track. I spend a lot of my money in the summer months. So we've passed that, and then we haven't yet quite gotten to it. So it's pretty stagnant during the winter months. We do spend money on soccer balls and footballs and T-shirts and stuff like that, but the big money is generally spent on
So as you
staffing.
guys are looking at this, on the far right-hand side of those pages, the far right-hand column is the percent of budget. The next one to the left of that is the year-to-date where we're at. And then the one immediately to the left of that is what was actually budgeted this year.
Yeah, so good news associated to revenue that prior year compared to this year at its current state, our revenue is at 56% of what we were last year. So good deal on revenue. We're a little ahead of what might be from an expenditure standpoint, what you'd expect to see at the current date. We're at 43% of what was budgeted and halfway through the year, which is good, but we're about, looks like about 80,000 or 70,000 ahead of what we spent last year on it. However, our
We've had
budget.
expenses with the
pretty-
pool and
Yeah.
the flooding and stuff. We've had to take those payments.
So when I see the expenditures being at 43% of our budget and halfway through the year, that's good news. We knew that our budget was increased from last year's, minus the pool stuff, because the pool was crazy with some of that work and the playground stuff. So good to hear that we're under what halfway through the year would be if it was at 50%. If it was at 60% of expenditures, you're like, oh, we better not spend as much as we did the
Right.
last 6 months, right?
Well, and we have to, we will be getting reimbursed also for the FEMA stuff once we can get those projects wrapped up. So like the playground, we can't get it wrapped up until we get the fence done.
Yeah, and there's
And the rock.
a lot of money associated to that.
Yes.
So. Seeing the summary at the top, it looks good. Is there anything else specific to the budget that wants to be pointed out? You guys are providing this at the 6 month just as a statement of, hey, this is where we're at, giving you guys a heads up, right?
Yep.
Yes.
We
As
appreciate
we
that.
work toward, because we'll be really I'll be getting on top of budget stuff and
Yeah.
capital improvement projects and all that, and then we'll
Yeah.
need to go over those and figure out our budget and approve it for next year.
Yeah, we're just beginning our budget process internally. So.
Is all of your sinking funds that you set up specific to lawnmowers and larger expenses? I remember you set that up 2 years ago now, probably. But last year, we really were starting to see those get funded. Are we still seeing, is there any major ones that we're pulling? When we set up all of those sinking funds, did we set up some of them like, hey, we say we have 2 years left with this lawnmower? Did we try to front end load that? Okay, so really when you set those up, you're setting them up like from the next 20 years, we
Yes.
should be hitting appropriately.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's
good to
exactly what I did. Starting from ground zero, if a lawnmower or other piece of equipment had 2 years of life, I split the cost of that replacement between those next 2 years and set that aside. If we had one that had 10 years of life, I divided that by 10 and set that much aside each year.
Very good. So in 30 years from now, we should have a very stable
Yes.
expenditure associated to the
Yes.
sinking funds.
Yes.
Great. Really good. Cool. I think all the questions I have towards the budget is specific to the FEMA stuff, which looks like it's a part of the agenda. So I think I don't have any questions about budget update unless you have comments.
Wish list review and update, preparing for budget. So I was going through a
Do
previous.
we want to talk
oh,
about
sorry.
this, or you want to go into that?
You can, it's lower down, but if.
Oh, is
you
it
can.
lower down?
It's just next.
Oh, okay, go
after
ahead,
that.
sorry.
But it's whichever. I was looking through one of our past meetings, and I had made a wish list before we did our budget last year, and I just kind of wanted to go through. I had 23 items written on it, and it was a new tennis court, update skate park, paved road parking lot, new Al Brown sign to match parking lot. So let me do this. Update skate park. I had mentioned, we had talked to the construction crew. I asked what it would cost to move that particular concrete pad to the front of the park, and this is something that we could be considering. A lot of our riffraff comes in to the skate park. It's after hours, it's
Sure.
unsupervised, they tend to break things. It's back, in the very back where nobody can monitor it. Yes, it'll be better when the police have the security cameras, but it won't be foolproof at that point. We could potentially move that pad to the front of the park and then just unbolt the equipment and rebolt it where it is. So that is something that we could do moving forward. So I just want you to think about that. The cost to move it wasn't huge. I believe it was like $6,000 to move the concrete pad, just as a potential. New Al Brown sign to Match Park. We don't have a new one, but it has been painted. It looks much better. Al Brown Field Modified for qualified tournaments. We haven't done that, but I do have people contacting me now that we have the lights to be setting up tournaments there, so that's good.
It's exciting.
New Al Brown Playground. Update Al Brown concession. Check, we've done that. Shade protection over playground dugouts. We don't have state-of-the-art ones, but we have found ones that were in storage that we didn't know about. So this last season, we actually did have shade cover over the red and green fields. We don't have them for T-ball, but we had them for the two fields. Develop Old City Fairground property. We haven't done that, but there has been pen to paper and stuff. Processes have been moving forward a little bit for that. Pickleball courts. Concrete the rocks between the armory and the ball field. That's in the plan, and it's happening, so that's a check. Concrete steps coming down to Bluefield, check. Take the tire chips out and replace them with same service as Billy's Playground. Unintentional, but check. I think we got better than what we had anticipated there. And have you guys been down to that park playground?
Yeah, it's
It's
awesome.
amazing. That new section is
I was a
amazing.
little concerned about, is this going to get damaged? Just because
It's squishy.
it's cushiony, and I'm like, is some kid just going to come in here and ruin this thing? And I'm surprised over the few months here and the people that have been down there playing on it, it's been durable.
Yeah.
It's been exciting to see people. I've seen, I haven't seen like any people in wheelchairs, but I've seen a few people on like scooters with a broken foot,
Yeah,
like chasing grandkids. So.
nice. Additional cameras in the park, we're working on that. Concrete the batting cage floor, scoreboard upgrades to all fields, fence caps on T-ball fields and Al Brown. Park fields will need new ones soon. Concrete additional section of the creek to allow for more parking near the fields. That is a wish list, but I have been talking with engineers because of the erosion stuff, and that will never happen,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Adding street lights with the park and at Al Brown, adding shade trees to Al Brown, fence repair at Al Brown, check, and I had added T-ball parking, and so that is also a check. So looking back at this, it was like an overwhelming list, but we've really knocked a lot of the things out. But I was excited to see that, because sometimes you're like, you're doing it, but you don't look back and see all that has been done. So I was excited to see that. And moving forward with the budget, those are some of the things that we might look at. But there's also some other things that I want you guys to be thinking about too, because I asked my staff what are some of the things that we are needing. Something that they've asked for is a storage building, because we have the shop, but we house a big vehicle in the bottom of it, and the top of it is for our mowers and trucks. And we have all of the sports equipment in with the mowers, the trucks, the side-by-side. We often get a lot of blowback and dirt, and not only that, but bugs and spiders and the creepy crawlies. And we like to keep that stuff clean and nice because kids are wearing it, they're putting it on their heads. We need someplace that's airtight and sealed that doesn't get all the blowback and dust and stuff. They have asked for it's like a portable,
Shipping container?
yes,
Connex? Yeah.
yes.
Just
And
like
those
what
are-
they use for 5th and 6th grade football over at the Al Brown Fields.
That's the back of a car, like a kind of, sort
Oh,
of,
okay.
but yes. But just a square metal
Yep.
box that locks, that we can store next to the building. Doesn't require heat or anything like that. We just need
Next to the
someplace
building
airtight.
that's
Yep,
currently, that they reside in right now?
yes.
Okay.
Yep. And it'd be easier to organize it and kind of keep everything together that way. Something we do need, there are heaters have been going out at that building, so something that we need to be looking at that I'll probably try to do in capital improvements is figuring out a heating system for that building. The city might be able to help us out also because they have a well in there currently that has to stay heated. They've recommended switching over to propane because currently it's a wood-burning furnace and it starts with diesel. So like if they're not there to man it, it sprays diesel in and they have to continue feeding it. But they have some furnaces that hang up in the ceiling too in the corners, and those are the ones that have stopped working, which circulate the heat. Something I had mentioned at the last meeting that I'd really like to do, and I think it would beautify the park and bring excitement and some talkability and make us a little relevant, is if we add some murals to our park. And I had talked to Hannah about it probably a year ago. And then the last meeting, I had brought some pictures that we had talked about, and then she had also given me some suggestions, just some ideas, but we haven't nailed anything down. But that's something I want to do, especially to our pool and maybe even the restrooms that are down at the park that are the backdrop to the splash pad to kind of make it more vibrant. Our pool doesn't even say Alice Lou Craig on it anywhere. So it'd be nice to be able to make it more exciting, and maybe it can draw more people that way. And then we would like to add the system that we have for the splash pad. It just recirculates the water over and over again. And we chlorify it and all that, but it doesn't necessarily clean the water, like get residue out and stuff. We've been talking with Vaughn Pool and Spa. They can set us up with a backwashing system, which would be like the pool, but on a much smaller scale. And we would use the glass media like we use at the pool to be able to filter that water better and make it a safer situation for everybody. It is used so much. This would be a very good investment for that. And I want to say it was under $2,000 to replace all the plumbing and stuff in there to change it into a backwashing system. So those are some things that I wanted to add and us to be thinking about moving forward with the budget. But again, I'll write all those up and put them in a format for you guys to look over and why we think it's important. So moving on to the FEMA update.
I think the only comment associated with the wish list stuff is, you know, we all live in this community together, and you've done a great job of creating these lists and giving us something to, like, what can we look forward to and stuff. But if there's items that the public or people here on the board that we have ideas, I mean, even if they're out of reason, at least they can go on a list and they can be looked at. There's value to that. Having brainstorming is sometimes harder than sometimes getting things done, so.
Agreed. Yes.
Cool.
And the very last page in your packet was the Park FEMA project status report. The overview, the city currently has 3 FEMA projects fully reimbursed and 3 projects still outstanding. So reimbursed FEMA projects were our donated resources and volunteers. They paid us for that. Safety fencing around the playground, which was the fencing, the temporary fencing that we had to install, that has been reimbursed. And then the Al Brown fence repairs has also been reimbursed. So the things that are still out, it was the playground DuraSafe tile and rubber mulch replacement, which I don't know what they're waiting on for that. That one should be reimbursed because it's
Well,
completed.
What they did is, so FEMA lumps together projects differently than what we do. We see these as all, like these outstanding as 3 separate projects. They don't. So they see these remaining ones as one project.
The playground fence is in with the playground and Dura
Yes.
repair. Yep.
And so till it's all completed, we won't be reimbursed. So that's what's going on there.
Okay, so I just want to make sure then, the objects associated to the outstanding FEMA, that we see it as the 3, and we see the top one as complete? Okay.
The
No, or it
playground is complete, but what
the-
they're seeing
The aluminum
is the
fence is,
fencing.
hey, you haven't touched the
Right.
aluminum fence yet?
Yes.
Until you get that done, your
Yes.
project's incomplete. Okay.
Correct.
And the second, so that's the item, that's the caveat, that we really,
Yes.
if we want to get 195, and it's not 195,000, that's what it cost us, right?
No.
Or is
it
that
was
their
over-
FEMA request back?
The playground, the rubber surface,
Uh-huh.
that was, and that's not including if we have to do a different type of fence.
But it was more than this.
Yeah.
The total?
It was like a 70% reimbursement from FEMA. Is
Yeah.
this the representation of the 70%?
Oh my
Or is
gosh,
this the?
I
Hey,
don't want to speak out.
Yeah, I don't-
But okay, but there's something like that. The good thing is we can at least look at this and say,
We're
there is a
recouping the
large
majority of
number
it.
on the top project being held up by a fence.
Yes.
And if we can replace it with steel that looks nice,
Right.
that would be advantageous if we can do it at a
Yes,
under
and-
$10,000 or, you know, I don't know what the cost would be.
They, like, you have to fix it.
Sure.
And then they can come back and say, we will pay for another portion of that for the,
Improvement,
yes.
whatever. Yeah.
To make sure it doesn't happen again.
Fair.
The mitigation.
Yes,
Mitigation,
very
I
good.
always get it wrong. Yes, the mitigation portion of it. They could potentially pay for a large portion of that replacement.
Okay, I mean, an idealized form, and I know this isn't brainstorming stuff, but an idealized form for that fence would be if we can replace what's needed to be replaced and it look the same, but
Right.
not be aluminum and it's still, but I don't think it can be piecemealed, but
Right.
that would be ideal if we could walk towards something that is structurally stronger
Yes.
and not have this problem in the future,
Well,
but not have to
They,
do it all at
they
once.
have been back and forth looking at that probably 3 or 4 times.
Okay.
And she said in the meantime, because it's broken where it is, it moves.
Yeah,
And there are now,
it's
it's a,
getting worse.
yeah, there are more sections. She said, I think I counted 8 total panels now that are damaged,
Okay,
as opposed to 2. Or 3 at the beginning.
okay.
So, but we are working on that. The second one, the ball field repairs, that one, I need to see what they're still holding up on, because that one is complete. The pedestrian bridge, that would be the erosion that we're working toward, that we need to approve, spending the $10,000 to purchase the rock.
When are we going to approve the spending of the purchase of $10,000 of rock? Is that,
That's
or
the-
their attempt is to do this right now,
Yeah,
under this
today,
section right
yeah.
now? Okay, perfect.
Because I mean, we've got, and then I have to even, well, then I have to take it before the alderman
Yes.
to do that, so.
Yes.
I think we said it in June, or I know that if I didn't say it, I thought it. The park, we have one really, really nice park in this town, and it's what we take pride in with regards to the way it looks. And if we let the pedestrian bridges, if we let that erosion take place and ruin that part of it, and we have to shut down part of the park, it is detrimental when we shut down the playground. We've experienced that. It's detrimental when we have to shut down the pool. I don't think anybody in our town likes that.
No.
If we have to do that because of an erosion thing that we can fix with $10,000, I think that it's, I mean, I would jump up and down and vote yes for let's do this.
It's $10,000 in rock, but we'll also get compensated for the
The
equipment
staff time,
used, the
right.
staffing time,
Great.
all of that.
Sounds like a slam dunk. So I think if there's any, not to say if there's other questions associated to the FEMA projects, I think then we're going to step into maybe a request for an approval for
A budget
somebody to
adjustment.
vote. Yeah.
Is that a motion?
Well, I'm asking, does anybody else have any questions on the FEMA stuff?
And I will just state, I do believe these are the actual the reimbursement amounts.
Oh, great. I think that sounds right, because I think that it was like
Because if I'm remembering
300,000
right,
for-
that quote for the playground, the rubber mulch replacement was over 200,000.
I think you're right.
And so I believe these are the 75. I texted Stacy, but she's not responded. But given the way she has listed this out here,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's the 75%.
I think you're right.
Need a motion?
Yeah, I make a motion that we make a budget adjustment to spend the $10,000, what is estimated as $10,000 in rock in order to repair and fix the erosion problems around the pedestrian bridge and up and down the Park Creek.
I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved. Okay. All right, so, did you have something else?
I just was gonna,
Yep, so we have some other business, I guess, that we could talk about that's not necessarily on the agenda.
Can I ask something really quickly?
Please.
Our secretary is not here today. Is anybody willing to type the minutes?
go back and look at the video and take notes.
Yeah,
we can do that.
like, pretty quickly, so I could submit it by Monday for us to be put on the agenda for Tuesday's meeting?
Any volunteers?
I can do it.
Oh, my man.
Yeah, no
All
problem.
right. I'll buy you lunch. Okay. All right. So other business, it's not necessarily on the agenda. I'll take full responsibility for that. We've had this conversation weeks ago, and Mr. James Forrester
James Taylor,
Taylor.
like the singer.
Oh, I apologize. Well, Mr. James Taylor has expressed interest in being a part of our Park and Rec Board. He had swimming, what's the word I'm looking for?
You beats me, man. I don't know
Yeah,
how
I
your
don't know.
mind works.
A swimming recommendation. Anyway, Mr. James, if you wouldn't mind, you could step to the podium, kind of express some of your interests as to why you want to be a part of this board, and we'll love to have some conversations with you, maybe ask you some questions. And
Is this hot? Yeah, it's hot. Well, I'm James Taylor, not James Forrest.
apologize.
It's okay. I actually have a degree in forestry, so that's funny.
Yes.
So
Oh,
that's okay.
That's why I said it.
Yeah, that's why you said it. Yeah. So I am James Taylor. My family and I moved here in May of 2025, so just last year. I would dare to venture my back deck is the closest house to the park. I'm on Park Place Drive, first house after the Armory. And so, like, when there's a party going on in that shelter, I'm in it. So
Pavilion 2 is your backyard.
that is my backyard. Hole 2 of the Frisbee golf is, I could go out there and sit on it. So we're really close. Community is very important to me and my family. And so even purchasing that house, when we looked at it, the park was a big deal. And so we want to help steward that. We already are. When my windows are open and I hear a kid crying down there because they got stung by a bunch of wasps, I'm heading down there with a can of wasp spray to take care of business.
Call us.
We
can locate
I don't know
them
anybody
and they
yet.
can-
Now that
and
I know
they
you.
can rehouse to another part of the park.
I had gloves, and yes, I'll call you next time. So that's exactly why I'm here, is to get the contacts and understand. Background, so I have a 10 and a 12-year-old. We moved down here to start a school called a micro school, which is just an alternative to homeschool and public schools, and it brings a place for a Christian school in the community. That's why we moved here. This is the second one we've helped start, but that brought us to the community. I grew up in Missouri, joined the military. I was a commissioned officer in the United States military for a long time. And then in my civilian life, and that was law enforcement, by the way. So when you're talking about cameras and things like that, I'm listening. I'm already out there kind of watching things too, by the way. I know about the broken fence, and I was already looking for cameras when people vandalized the place too. I was already out there like, where's the cameras? Well, let's find these people, right? Because my kids are already enjoying it. I'm enjoying the park, and I want to help steward that and bring the recreation that it affords as much as we can possibly help. In the civilian life, I was a marketing director for a TV station and digital media companies. So looking at the logos and things like that, I love it. I love all these things. And then the last part of it is I am in education, but I have been like a counselor for youth and kids and coaches. And I helped with the flag football this year as best as I could jump in and help because the help was needed. So that's me. And then the last part of it was I get a knock on the door on a Friday morning, very early,
Was
with
it the
Luke
deer?
over there.
The deer.
With a deer that wanted to do a Cirque du Soleil
Yes,
in
the
the
deer.
batting cages spinning.
Right.
I've never laid hands on a live deer. That was new to me. I've harvested a lot of deer, but to remove it from the batting cages net, I'm getting to know Luke, and because he lives on Park Place Drive too. And then he recommended me, so here I am.
Yeah.
Correct. Very good. Well, thank you for that information. What little bit I've known from you in the past with the back to school bashes and several other things that maybe I've made contact with you before, I like what I see. I can appreciate what you and your family are doing. I really appreciate you being available as a voluntary thing, as the park is in your backyard. I think that's great. I think it's very beneficial for Luke to be that close to the park as well. It just works good for everybody. It's great for your family, and it's great for our parks, especially people who care about our community and care about our kids. So I appreciate that. I don't know that I have any questions for you, but I know that this isn't something that we can vote on tonight But if you guys have questions, please feel free to ask those questions, and James will answer these questions to the best of his ability. And then we'll, I think Melissa said something about we needed to have a board meeting here pretty quick. And so maybe we can allow that to be on the agenda to vote for Mr. James Taylor. So without further ado, does anybody have any questions for James while we have him?
I know James very well, so I don't have any questions for him. I think that he'd be beneficial. So I think it'd be, if we can, put him on the agenda for a vote, that would be good for the next time.
Very good. We'll work on that. Do you have any questions? Okay.
Welcome.
Thanks.
Yeah, welcome to Salem.
I
for
like more
sure.
eyes on the park, it helps.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to get you guys some walkie-talkies or something. I don't know. Okay, well, James, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I think if there's nothing else, I think it's time to adjourn.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay?
thanks.
Do we need to make a motion to adjourn, or can we just adjourn?
Need a motion.
We need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. So moved.